Hello everyone, welcome back to the ESL 1 Battlefield 4 Summer 2014 group stages. We're into Group B now. Yeah. We already had an expected game coming up with Fnatic top lane ESC, and now we got quite an interesting match coming up. Fnatic going up against the team that hasn't beat them once yet in the this season's cups. It's MeetYourMakers.
Yeah, MeetYourMakers have had a solid run throughout this season, but obviously been stopped several times by Fnatic. So not necessarily a grudge match, but there's certainly a point to be proven for MYM here. They want to do well. They have an opportunity to, but it'd be proving a point because it's starting on one of Fnatic's stronger maps, or previously was one of their stronger maps.
Very true. And I mean, considering out of the four cups, sorry, they got beat by them 3 times.
Yeah.
And completely knocked out. They didn't even win a single map against them. And as you can see, we're going to have CK going up against ESC Gaming in the bottom side of the bracket. You can head over to Brett FX's stream if you want to check that one out. And then after this match, we will be going into the losers of this one versus the winners of that bottom one to determine our final team from Group B to join Epsilon and Exertus. So right now, we do have our maps. Let's actually go over them really quick. We have Operation Locker, chosen by MeetYourMakers, like I said, one of Fnatic's strong maps, or at least previously strong ones. We have Siege Shanghai coming up after that. And then we have, if we do need it, Parasail Storm, which is a map that I know MeetYourMakers is always really good on, but so is Fnatic. That one's going to be really interesting if we get to it. I really want to see that one, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all of these. Most being Locker for me, the one we're starting off with, just because it used to be one of Fnatic's best. Everyone looked at them, how to kind of undo it. You know, it's something that I say all the time. You know, when you're a top team, and you're at the very top of the league, especially if you have a favorited map or like a strong map, everyone looks at to them as to how to play or how to anti-strat it. And everyone kind of did, and it did slowly build up against Fnatic back in the day, and they started to lose it a little more. But whether Fnatic have actually, smoothed out all the issues, we'll have to wait and see. But, MeetYourMakers did warm up through the cups, starting one and then finish off a lot better in the last 2. Third and fourth, they started to pick up, some solid victories, even making it through to the finals against Fnatic in Cup number 3. So, talented team, and they even beat Epsilon on the way there.
Well, there you go. And it's kind of funny because throughout the seasons, MeetYourMakers has been performing really weird. In the first season, they started off really well. They won the first cup, and they just constantly went downwards from there. They went all downhill. In Season 2, they started off really bad, then they got better over time. And now Season 3, they kind of did the same thing.
Yeah.
But when MeetYourMakers got to the actual playoffs, the offline finals, they didn't really perform as well as I expected them to, being the Season 1 victors. But then again, the matches versus Dignitas that you casted with Dogbert, those were some ridiculous games.
That was something that you could never predict as a team or ever work against. When a team plays out of their skin, like Team Dignitas did, there's very little you can do. Are we ready to go live here?
I believe we can drop in the game.
I don't want to get Jason caught off guard again.
I would love to be on camera with my jacket and sitting down. I believe we are ready. So let's go dropping in. Operation Locker kicking off. We have over on the US side, MeetYourMakers. Over on the Russian side, we have Fnatic here. And let's see what they're going with.
Yeah, Fnatic used to really enjoy that outside C push. Now with the Scar H and etc. not in play, they prefer going for this mid hold straight away. And we're going to see that countered by MYM playing their way through mid as well. Running with some interesting choices. AEK in the hands there of Ducky-chan. I wouldn't be surprised to see Drunks with something similar as well. So it might come down to that. Actually, no, he's going to hedge his bets with the Ace 23. So a bit more of an all-rounder. Spots out Ducky, goes for the push and gets it. But Valu not too far away to have to keep this push going on as Flax did take him down. And Fnatic working their way out here. C did just get 1 over. Punch Roll going down to 1 fix means that they can move in towards this site and claim it. So all in all, it should be a 2-1, I feel, in favor to Fnatic if they win out on B.
I like what we saw, too, because Unfix, he rotated from B, from the middle towards C, realized that they're not actually going to, get into that B flag. Eventually, they do, funny enough.
No one's picking up B, though.
Maybe they're expecting them to still be around. Drunks is checking a lot of corners here. And he is actually eventually capping it in the end from that one. So it will be a CB hold here for Fnatic's side. And Mort, I'm not sure what necessarily he's doing as he's trying to push into the A flag by himself here. But B finally now capped over.
Yeah.
And let's take a look at the overview real quick, because look at Unfixed. Well, he was on the top side of the map over towards C. Eventually got taken down. And you saw a glimpse of Mort actually dying inside the A flag here. So some really aggressive pushing by Mort, who's usually the man to play the anchor role. Kind of weird to see that, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's just the team's trying to adapt. It's still that quite scrappy start. No one's really slowed down yet. We're still seeing these kind of roaming groups of 2, just trying to pick up the sides more than anything. It's not like they're doing the full all-in pushes just yet. Now Fnatic seems to be getting themselves together, going in for the push down towards A. It seems like it's the site they want. Probably going to give up on B, I'd say, eventually, and then work their way out to see if they can. If they get A, obviously. At the moment, they're being held back by Ducky-chan and a couple of the other MYM members. And, well, in the moment, nice work from Ducky there. Does pick up 1 and has to be a little careful because the nades will start flooding through. But at the moment, good play coming out from MeetYourMakers. They're in a good solid position. They just need to be able to hold this one down.
I think Fnatic might have realized that we're not going to penetrate this A flag here, but they still have 4 men around the vicinity. They have actually more pushing the outside from the northeast, Valley pushing from the south and middle, and they will be up in a 2v2 there, while in the meantime, A push has been unsuccessful for Fnatic, and well, so has C. So MeetYourMakers off to a strong start here. Remember, they didn't win a single map against Fnatic the 3 times they met in these cups this season, and it looks like they might finally be able to.
Yeah, Flax was a really nice position out towards C there, pushing up a little bit to try and support mid, as he knew a couple of the players from Fnatic did get quite close, and he's done a perfectly good job of that. So he did get taken down, which is now allowed more to push out here to try and get towards the C flag. And I can imagine maybe Punch or Sayo will try and hedge it, you know, try and make sure it doesn't go too easily, and eventually work out there once they realize how many men are in mid still.
Well, it looks like more. He had the opportunity to actually push out for it, but he took a little bit too long. As we can see, I was gonna say X-ray machines, the metal detectors, a little bit unsuccessful push coming out of 2 easy there. And not to mention, again, in middle, Fnatic are just being shut out on these pushes. It's 134 to 94. They have been successful at C, though, with Mort and Unfixed working together that one, but B is also left open because of this. And right now you see Punchroll was pushing out, trying to cap that flag back over, but with 3 men there pretty much in his way, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, he's just going to slow them down, pushing around towards the back of A, as they only do have Sayo now holding it. They put the resources out to try and pick up C, didn't really pay off. Punch has fallen back nicely, playing smart, doesn't want to overextend. Might go for a peek, knowing that his players can respawn now back in towards A. He does actually pick up the kill towards Drunk, so very well played again. He's going to get support. I can imagine that's safe, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that is safe.
Coming through, so nading up and over. He knows there's probably going to be more around here, and it's a really good call, actually. More in a fantastic spot, though. Probably going to be pushed out a little bit, but he does pick up the kills there with Unfixed coming in from the side. So well done. Safe eventually does do the job, but you know it's a bit of a close game, but nevertheless Fnatic finally getting a 2-1 in their favor, but C was very volatile then.
Yeah, and they have a lot of tickets to really make up as well with this 2-1 hold, and they're currently trying to hold on to that B flag at the same time as there was a 2-man push. But you're seeing right now Sayo just kind of working in middle, looking for potentially a pick or two here to try to get in a little bit of information, but I believe with Safe being taken down, they know there's 3 or 4 men at that B flag, so maybe we see a push come in towards C at the same time. And obviously Sayo, he's just trying to still maintain this kind of middle area here on the map, because if you control middle, you pretty much control the entire map at that point, or at least the entire game, because right now push on C was successful. Punch was able to capitalize on that one. Flax sticking around waiting for him to rotate through middle here, but Fnatic are charging straight into the A flag, and it looks like they are going to be able to pick this one up here, so they will get the inside hold. And now this is really dangerous for MeetYourMakers. Coming in from the outside is so difficult to do.
Yeah, it certainly is. At the moment, though, Fnatic not able to get the challenge straight away, so it's allowed these guys to push a little further forward. Ducky-chan, they're doing a nice little bit of kind of pre-fire just down towards the corridor, the snake. Does get taken in the end by 2 easy, but the cover's been removed, so making it a harder job for Fnatic to kind of maintain A if they play in the positions to be expected once this all cools down. But you know, Fnatic are watching the entrances, playing smart, playing carefully, and that's all you need to do to turn this one around. The tickets were getting a little low for them, and then they started to play this more passive, smarter game. So Fnatic at the moment just need to kind of keep it locked down to where they are, but eventually MYM will work up to a push, and Sayo finding Unfixed has certainly chipped away at some of it, forcing Mort to come back around.
Well, they try to go for a push on the outside, spawning on top of Flax, so it's actually right by the connector to get back in towards B, but right now A push coming in yet again. MeetYourMakers being shut down. Sayo up in a 1v1, now a 2v2 here as respawns come in, and Fnatic are going to be able to hold on to this. A lot more respawns coming from MeetYourMakers. They're committing for this one, and they're going to be unsuccessful in it, but they might get a back cap on B here in the meantime. Well, we see Valo actually capping C at the same point, but one thing I want to touch on Flax. So he was waiting outside the B connector up towards the northeast side, and then he got a respawn, I believe it was, I want to say Safe coming in with them. And they went for a 2-man push. Well, there's a 2-man push on A at the same time here, but they got wiped out because of, I believe it was Mort actually spawned them crossing, and from that, they just completely were unsuccessful, and they're a little bit of a trade here. But 2-1 still for Fnatic, and Fnatic finally able to call back the lead here.
Yeah, Drunks are basically a triple, then picking up 2 and then supporting 2 easy on the third. And I like the aggressive stance through mid. You can see the difference in the way the teams play it. Fnatic push all the way over the midway line and go for the challenges straight down. Safe might be in trouble there from Drunks if he's not careful. And it just keeps these spawns right back here at B. Only threat being maybe a random spawn out towards the backs here, but I think they're keeping control of that. And this is what I like from Fnatic. Slightly unique style to it, slightly more aggressive, and they like doing it, and it's paid off perfectly with the triple cap, putting the likes of MYM down to 42 tickets. And MYM seem to have the overall plan of going, you know, a little bit better than this, to say the least. They're struggling to even break through onto B, which is pretty much a gifted site.
Yes, they are. And remember, Fnatic, they were losing this one by about 30 tickets at a good point in this game. But Fnatic have been able to claw their way back into the lead with about a 40 ticket advantage currently. And right now, they're honestly showing no signs of stopping. They're backcapping C. They're beating them in the 1v1s, even the 1v2s sometimes. And they will eventually be giving up B here, unless Drunks has something to say about it as he's pushing in for that one. But as you can see outside, just trying to back it up, just trying to maintain it with the help of Valo there. And I feel like they're going to just win this one with about 70 ticket advantage, because with 24-22, I feel like you have one, maybe two good pushes left in you before it's over.
Yeah, and with Fnatic roaming mid like they are, it's very hard to break down at any point here. Mort doing a nice job over by A, just keeping those nades spamming through, trying to keep these guys back, knowing how long it takes them to push in from there. Gonna go for a little peek down towards that snake push on the side, and actually not a bad idea, because there are two players pushing in, Safe being one of them. The man generally with Ducky-chan, who was locking down A originally, so you can see them now pushing in together to try and reclaim their side. But I think it's almost a done deal here. They are in a slight overmatch, but look on the rotate. Two players around the backside. Fnatic are going to be moving in to keep this one under lock, and they've pretty much done the job. So Fnatic overall with a very solid performance here.
Yeah, in the meantime, they're capping B at the exact same points. Even if they did lose on that one, they would maintain this here. And with 3 tickets left to go here, B is being rotated over for MeetYourMakers, but let's see if they can hold on to it. Now we have the last man in the squad. It's going to be too easy. The respawns didn't come in quick enough here, and they might actually lose out on quite a few tickets because they thought they had it in the bag. And this is the worst position to be in. MeetYourMakers, we've seen them do this so many times on one ticket against so many different teams, as well as Dignitas, and they can pull so many tickets back for themselves. They can mitigate how bad they lost in this first half here, and they could potentially come back in the second. But right now, trying to push in finally here for this A flag, and they have finally got it over.
Yeah, smart.
Without actually even being in the room, they got it, funny enough.
It was a smart play from them to just spam those nades through, because it keeps them at arm's length and they can't push in because they know they can't respawn. So Fnatic doing the dirty work there, but it paid off in the end. But MeetYourMakers, when they actually had the hold they wanted, they played really well then. I will eventually take you guys through the tactics there once I get through to it. But, MeetYourMakers, the problem was that it felt that once they'd got that... They had their ideal setup, which gave them a fantastic lead at the start. But then, once it kind of got broken, they could never quite get back into it. And that's what Fnatic are really good at doing.
Right.
They kind of make it really difficult for players to kind of find those positions again, which we saw just kind of trickle and tumble away from the MeetYourMakers side. All
right, well, let's actually just drop you into your screen so you can show us, because, like you said, MeetYourMakers, great start, but Fnatic, they made it better.
So for me, the nice setup that MeetYourMakers had was depending on a couple of players. One, this guy right out here, generally played by Flax. He was just off the cliff face at C, so supporting the push rather than the peak. So if any Fnatic players push through around here, they'd be caught there. Then the roaming player, maybe Punchroll out on these hills. Nothing too new. But they also had the likes of Sayo, mostly focused here. You had Ducky-chan and Safe kind of around here as well. So they played it quite passively right across the map. They didn't really go for this mid challenge, and it worked really well. They maintained C and A quite nicely done. No problems there. But then you saw once that got broken down, Fnatic played it very differently. Fnatic constantly were pushing up towards this line. You had the likes of Drunks in here, too easy, up here, just never letting them push off B, forcing those random respawns back down here for the MYM side. So that sort of play very different between the two teams. Fnatic's gives them a little bit more room to breathe, whereas MeetYourMakers, if it goes wrong initially and it suddenly starts not getting to be able to get in those positions, it falls away very fast. So that's when they lose.
Dominoes.
Yeah, a lot of tickets suddenly went away from them.
All right, well, let's drop you in a game here because we have 5 seconds left on that countdown right now. Fnatic up 64 tickets here in the second half on the first map in this best of 3. Next map will be Siege of Shanghai, but Fnatic going to be over on the US side, the blue team here. MeetYourMakers over on the Russian side, the red team. And we see Fnatic, they're holding the spawn. Well, I thought they were holding the spawn. They actually were just grouped up really closely, but they have 4 men over towards B, and 1 man just going straight out towards C. MeetYourMakers not even trying to contest it.
Yeah, it's become a new trend not to go initially for C unless you work your way through mid. Now, at the moment, MeetYourMakers are kind of being funneled down towards this lower B corridor, which is going okay. They're winning out on some of the 1v1s, but they need to make sure they get to the site really damn quick. Otherwise, it's just going to be an immediate swing around the backside, and there's going to be a flank coming out from Fnatic. So a bit of a brawl, but nevertheless, Fnatic are doing a good job holding on to this for now.
Wow. They cleaned it up with, I think, it was like 3 men. They cleaned up 4, and they're looking for maybe even number 5 here, but they're going to maintain C, they're going to maintain B, and this is a start we didn't see at Fnatic that we did see at MeetYourMakers last time. And this is going to be very worrisome as MeetYourMakers still committing so many men towards the B flag here. They have, what, 4 or 5 spawned in there. They want to hit this one. They want to hit it hard, but they are still struggling to get anywhere in here.
Yeah, and this is the danger I was talking about, that long flank around the backside. Unfixed realizing how many resources they were funneling through just to pick up B, and it's gone, so then, all right, if we have to, you can go take B, we'll stick on C, and then go pick up A. If that's what you really want to do, guys, we're happy to play this game as well. So, bit of a solo mission. He's out on his own. But his teammates, if they break through Flax, they can go and support him.
Oh, wow. And right now, they weren't even capping over B at the same time. But they will lose C. They'll maintain the inside hold, though. And this is where we saw Fnatic start to build up a little bit of steam so they could transition into that 2-1 hold with C and A that you were talking about. Let's see if they can do it yet again here. We have 3 men on MeetYourMakers trying to push in towards the A flag.
And Ducky, yeah. They're almost in the ideal setup. Safe, I can imagine, will take this position once they win it out.
Well, let's see if they can win it out, because right now Fnatic are trying to throw every single man they can possibly at it. They have 1 man, Junks, working towards the C flag yet again here, just in case they do lose on this fight. And right now they have. Valu is one of the last ones standing with Unfixed in a 2v3, but they cleared up to a 2v2. They're looking for the last couple of kills here, and it looks like Valu will be dropped with the respawns coming at MeetYourMakers, and that will be a tri-cap coming in here. I believe Junks did lose out in the 1v1 versus Safe, and from that, well, I mean, I'm going to get a strong hold here, but for how long? They have A and B. They don't have their desired setup just yet. But I wonder how well they could work off this. And actually, Safe stopped capping over B for a second there.
Yeah, maybe rotating a little too fast, but still. I'd say MYM are in the better position to push down towards the outside site if they can play it correctly off the top of this slight mound. But they have to be careful of players like Moore, because he's already in position, he's already spotted out Sayo. So the fire comes through, and you can see the split around the backside coming out from, I believe, Too Easy, who's found one. He's going to hunt down the second. He's going to get the tag. Oh, he's out of ammo. He goes down. That's a huge mistake, allowing a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for MYM if they pick this side up fast enough and they can re-challenge out on A.
Well, Unfixed, he is there to potentially stop it. As you can see, MeetYourMakers capping A back over. But let's take a look at C real quick, see if there is a little bit of a fight here as Mort and Unfixed are still there in a 2-on-3. They're looking for the cap here, but Flax looks like he slowly has been able to turn it over. So it will be the 2v1, but now, like you're saying, MeetYourMakers, can they get set up in the position that they want to maintain this? Because right now, they're very weak on the A flag. And, well, looks like Fnatic are actually barreling down on that to potentially take it here very quickly. But, I don't know, Valo actually switching up, going up middle. I don't know, it seems like Fnatic are just kind of not really sure what to do right now. I see them running a lot of different directions here, but not committing to one actual site.
Well, at the moment, they've still got a lot of tickets to play with. They're leaving players like Flax able to do this, which is the bigger problem, to come around the back and kind of back challenge them, which is just going to cause them issues if they're not making a fast push in towards the A site, which means they just get caught in this corridor. And obviously, MYM can just respawn in the likes of Ducky Chan or, you know, Safe. And then Flax doing this again, pushing around the backside, picking up the kills. If you don't make the push, even if you get the kill on towards Safe, it doesn't matter because Flax can come around and do the job from the backside. So, you know, MYM playing smart, he can get back out to position. It looks like they've switched up a little bit. Seo's now outside on C, and Safe's moved in towards this spot with Punchroll and Ducky Chan. So maybe switching up the strats a little bit, but MYM in the ideal setup now. They're in their lockdown positions.
All right, so now it's up to Fnatic here to pretty much penetrate this defense. And right now, I really wonder where it's going to come at, because C flag seems to be more vulnerable right now with only 1 man out there, Seo. But if they throw too many men towards C, they leave B wide open for a push here, and that would be very devastating for them. But again, they're not really winning out on any of these fights, but they have gotten control of C here. They at least neutralized it. And Valu is just obviously hopping behind the cover here to maintain the control, so they will pick it up. And Drunks, oh, look at Drunks on the very west side of your screen. He's going around for the complete flank on him. If he could pick up these kills, that'd be huge. They would maintain this one, and he will get taken down, though. That was Fox actually with the great read on that one, so they stopped the back cap with the flank. They pick up the kill. They're going to pick up B. Oh, no, they won't pick up B because Ducky Chan is only 1 man there. And right now, MeetYourMakers playing some pretty awesome Battlefield.
Yeah, they're playing out of the box, but Ducky Chan did get found in the end by Valu, and Fnatic now have the 2-1. They can even get a trip cap because they left A completely undefended, and they overcommitted towards C to try and get this one down, and they've left A completely open to the taking. Fnatic with a triple cap will not really help out MYM, considering their tickets are not far away from that threshold already.
Yeah, 64 tickets is that threshold. Keeping that in mind, guys, as we see they are at 92 currently, and that is falling very quickly with every single tick coming in right now. But they will get B back. It looks like C is open for them to take as well because they have 2 men up against Valu here. And
But it's Valu.
It is Valu, but let's see if you know anything about it. He picks up 1. He knows there's another one there. And they will just jump straight for it. Gets right on top of him here. The AOD arena that we like to call it when Danitas is playing. And well, he will pick up the kill. So they will maintain C. They maintain A for now, but they are very weak on it currently. And they actually lose the only man that was there defending against it too easy.
Never doubt Valu is the big thing here. Maybe hoping there's a random respawn round to the back of B. That's why Ducky Chan's going back there to defend it, leaving the even matchup at A. But that could be a mistake as well. MYM need to make sure they're locking down the sites they really want because those tickets are low and those fast B flag caps back and forth are not enough to get them this game. So they need to keep their eye on the tickets and on the bigger picture here. Zumfix does find Punch and that's forced them to retract at A, but the tickets are very close to the marker now.
Yes, they are. 78. That's 14 more to go here. And right now, it looks like Fnatic just taking their time, gathering some composure here. Not necessarily any kind of hurry, but looks like they do want to eventually push in towards this B flag here. And we're going to see Too Easy I look for this kill here, just trying to bob and weave between the walls, and he will pick it up. But he's got at least one, maybe even two more men here to kill if he does want to cap that one over. But it does allow them to push down middle, and they are going to go for the A hit.
Yeah,
and they're going to get it.
Complete bait and switch. Really nicely done from Fnatic. They secured the side they really wanted, which was the A side. They've still got C to boot, and they push more up to try and hold mid. They don't expect MYM to already be pushing through here. Thankfully, Value's got to this spot, but I'm not sure if he can stop them capping it over.
I don't think he can, but look where Morty is right now on the minimap. He can. Just he's on the south side going straight towards B. He sat there for the longest time, waved them to rotate out of it, and now he's going for the back cap here. They realize they're so close to winning. All we need to do is just keep turning these flags over. C was stopped, and it's going to be neutralized here. They're going to pick up B. They're going to lose potentially A on this one. But right now, MeetYourMakers are having a hard time getting the respawns in.
This could be a 2-to-1 cap, though. This could be really good. Drunks rotated off of A for some reason when he could have challenged it. They've given up on towards C as well, Fnatic, and now they're just stuck down towards B. This could be a problem, even though those tickets are really damn close. This could still be turned around. If MYM lock these sides down, play passive, play smart, play defensive Battlefield, they could come off with an advantage here if they can keep this up, though. At the moment, the flat-out exchanges are not enough. They must win these sites out.
Mort and Val, they're working well together. They're going to clean up Flax as well. They're going to get A. They're going to get the turnover on it. And they have 6 more tickets to go before they have one out on their first map. And MeetYourMakers, they need to rush into the B flag, but they're taking their time here. They're waiting for the respawns. And now with 3 tickets left to play with, they're throwing everything they can at this B flag. They have to cap it over or it's going to be game.
Yeah, and Fnatic know that. They are throwing everyone back towards B as well. 64 tickets now being hit. It's almost over. The fire comes through. Ducky-chan goes down, and it looks like to be a cleanup for Fnatic.
That is it. All right, so that will be Fnatic taking the first map on MeetYourMakers' choice of Operation Locker and taking us now to Siege of Shanghai, where we saw Fnatic, well, a 55 ticket lead over ESC.
Yeah, we'll see how that one goes down, but you know, credit to Flax playing really well there for MYM. They got very close. If maybe they'd, I don't know, maybe if they got into that comfort zone a little earlier, maybe got into the sites they wanted a little sooner, they could have actually fully picked that up. But you know, it's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Fnatic have always been very strong on Locker. It's one of their more favored maps, even back quite some time ago. So to do what they did is very impressive regardless.
Yeah. Well, right now they're going to Siege Shanghai, and what's your thoughts on that map for them? I believe we did see MeetYourMakers back at Season 1 up against Pyrogen on Siege Shanghai, where they did actually win it in the last few seconds. To me, it's never been a strong map for them, but obviously everything can change in, what, a season or two?
Yeah, I don't know. I think Shanghai, because it only started to really become competitive, maybe around the end of Season 2, because the spawns got changed. It was literally like the map everyone would ban out because the spawns were overly balanced towards, well, overly favored towards one side. You'd already have the flag before you spawned, which obviously didn't mean it was competitive enough. That got changed around, it got into play. So it was a little bit late to the playing field. That's why a lot of teams are only just catching up to being at the really top marker. So it's a dangerous map because maybe Fnatic haven't played it as much as the other maps, and maybe the teams feel they're a little bit weaker there, or maybe Fnatic just want the practice on it.
Well, we will see. I'm just going to be getting a game here in just a few, but you know, we saw Fnatic play on it earlier on, and you even broke down their initial strategy from that one, how they played the north side of it, where they sent 4 men over to the streets right away. They went around towards A. They then did a little bit of a circle play, did the back cap towards B, and pretty much pincered them in. I wonder if we're going to see something similar to that this time.
I don't see why not. You know, MeetYourMakers play a great game, but there's no need to completely over-adapt your strategy. It's something that constantly plagues teams when they overly read into their opponents rather than just playing their own game. You've got to kind of take a mental note of what's going to happen. Like, okay, we know this team plays really aggressively, or they really stack this side, blah, blah. But then you should just completely change your own tactics. So I think they'll play something similar if they do start out here. I can imagine we'll see the engineer class maybe in play, where they just nade down the wall and then push straight through towards A. So I'll be looking for that, and I hope we see it.
Well, we are live, so let's go ahead and just drop you straight in the game right now because they have give us the go here. We're going to have Fnatic over on the US side, and MeetYourMakers over on the Chinese side. We saw Fnatic actually play this one before. This is exactly what we're seeing before. The 4-1 push, are they going to do it? They actually have the ping already at the B flag here, and they will start this one off. Let's see how they take this one off in the beginning, and they're going to do the same strat.
Yeah, they are. So there goes the engineer class taking down the initial wall. There's the push through, but this time Punch is in a good spot. This is the spot the Fnatic didn't really play out too well on the last time around. And now we're going to see a little bit more pressure, a little bit of a slower take through. And they have been going for the exchanges, but Unfix has snuck around, as has the likes of Drunks. Drunks is in a great spot here, taking down one. He needs to get the follow-up. Unfix does fall to Punch, so this could be an issue. They're being challenged here, and they've not had the fast rotate out towards B. They could get pincered in here and get taken down.
Well, they will, and they will. They will lose out on A. And now it's up to Too Easy and Mort to defend onto the C flag here. But MeetYourMakers, great start by them. Seems like they were listening to your little bit of a breakdown of Fnatic strategy in the beginning.
Oops.
And MYM with a strong start. 145 to 139. They have the 2-1. They're wiping the floor with Fnatic here. As actually, I think they completely wiped them out. And now they have time to get completely set up the way they want to. They have all 5 men up. And let's see how they go about this here. Because obviously we saw on Operation Locker, if they get set up, they can do very well. I want to see if they can do the same here. They have to be able to.
Yeah, but they're playing it uniquely on the street. They're not in the straight-up challenge out here. They're kind of playing from the corners, which is perfectly acceptable, but it does allow for players to slip through like Too Easy. This could be a bit of a problem if he gets over towards A. However, Seo is on the side. He goes down, and Too Easy has a bit of a foot in the door here. These guys must break through around the backside if they want to have a chance, but Valu learns that one pretty damn fast, and he's having none of that, taking down the player, pushing forward. Unfix chimes in on towards Ducky-chan, and Fnatic have worked it out. They need to get back out on towards B pretty much now.
Well, they do easily have the opportunity to do it. There's no one even there. MeetYourMakers threw every single man they had over towards the C flag here, and that B will be free for the taking. So they have the BA hold. They will start to claw back the deficit that they currently have against MeetYourMakers here, and we're going to find out if MeetYourMakers going to take it back. Obviously, they're a little bit light on B right now, as we can see. There's only one man there. Valu gets taken down. The respawn comes in, but it doesn't matter. Safe picks up 2. They're going to pick up B here in just a few seconds. In the meantime, Fnatic are struggling to really lock down a flag here. They're going for C with a back cap by Unfixed. And leaving one man over the A flag to defend against it with Too Easy. And he knows there's someone there.
He's probably waiting for the push-up, seeing how many players get committed here, go for the back kill rather than the cloud challenge. He does have to pick up the challenge on towards Seo, but the 2 players did already slip through, but he's going to be ahead of the curve a little, go for the straight-up challenge, knowing he's got teammates now coming across the street. Ducky is in their way. He gets taken down in a swift move, but Too Easy did get found, leaving Drunks and Co to have to now pushing towards A to try and claim this one. Same goes for B as well.
Safe. Well, he's the only man there to defend against it. He picks up the big kills as well with the help of Seo towards the south side of the street. They will maintain B for a little bit longer. They will lose on A, but they will eventually cap on a C here with the random respawn coming out of Ducky-chan. So both teams not looking very comfortable yet. Not looking like they've been able to get set up the way they want to. Either way, Fnatic and MIM are going to be pretty much dead even here at the end of this little bit of a trade.
Yeah, we'll see how this comes away. C is still being fought over. So Fnatic are in the slightly better position with Valu at the back and Unfixed on top, just to keep the nades going, but it's time cost pretty much. There goes the final player, but it's given time for Punch to get in a good spot, Safe as well, and Seo. So Seo's going to be playing this position out on the west side. He's going to be a little cautious there, a bit of fire coming across, but he can get the med pack down and get into a good spot, and then leave the kind of players that have been funneled through down towards Flax and Punch, Ducky-chan to pick up here.
Funny enough, last time Fnatic was in this position, they threw a lot of men towards the A flag. This time, being a little bit more hesitant, maybe trying to test their luck towards the B flag, but as you can see, they've only been able to pick up, I think, 1 kill out of the next 4 that they're going to need. And well, Unfix gets taken out, trying to push on A. A nice little bit of a cross watch by Flax, trying to spot out anyone crossing to the other side to actually go for the A flag. But it looks like Fnatic have finally broken through. They're going to get the A flag here in just a few. But again, Ducky-chan, the random respawn, going to be towards C.
But I don't think they're going to go for it. They know that Fnatic are in transition. They know that they're not completely set up on B yet because MYM still have the B flag. So they tried to make a fast move towards it. They go for the exchanges, which not ideal. Ducky picking up the double was what they wanted, really, but denied on the 1 pop there. And Fnatic just went out in the 1v1s. It was a smart play for MYM to go for the fast rotate.
Why haven't they capped C yet? They're going to get a tri-cap on him for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tri-cap, but the B side's way more important for them. So they were trying to get the drop on it.
Okay, well, they have finally capped it over now. They'll lose out on a little bit of lead that they did have. But look at this. Look how Fnatic's setting up here as well. They have 2 men towards the A building. They had 1 man inside the C building, acting as like kind of a floater role if they did need to rotate. Drunk's going to take over for Valu, who did just get taken down. And as well as Unfix watching that south side of the road, or the west side of the road, waiting for him to rotate through. And it looks like they will pick up the kill. Unfix, can he get it? And he will eventually pick that one up and the revive in. So right now, B a little bit light with 2 people. But Fnatic is starting to finally get a little bit comfortable, it seems.
Yeah, but MeetYourMakers knew there were 2 players out on that west side, which was something they shouldn't have done, but the aggressive push forward from Fnatic really
4 clean kills.
it. Yeah, that was really nice from them. Something that MeetYourMakers looked like they wanted to kind of abuse a little, knowing there was 2 players out on this west side rather than just 1. So they wanted to go for a quick challenge through towards A. Lucky enough, they get a bit of a good back spawn there, but they try to make a bit of a quick move. And I like that from MeetYourMakers. They'll see a mistake for their teammates, and they'll try and find the counter straight away, which is always nice to see. Didn't work out that time. But they could, in the end, pincer Fnatic here, but Drunks is in a great spot.
He's coming in for the flank here, just waiting for the move onto any of these flags. They obviously have Too Easy in middle, kind of watching right there, as you can see, giving Drunks the okay whether to push or not. Drunks actually going to be coming around directly behind them here. This is how many kills he can actually pick up. He's got 1 man in his crosshair, picks up that one. We'll spot out the second one as well. He will solidify that kill, and that has given him control of A here. If he can pick up this last 1v1, he spots the guy out, and it looks like he will get the kill. He picks up 3 nice shots, and that will give A back over here. Fnatic that will maintain the tri-cap here if they can pick it up quick enough with Flax in the respawn. But fantastic work by Fnatic, and this is the snowball that they're starting to really pick up. They're getting the momentum going, and that's when Fnatic are really dangerous.
Yeah. When aren't they dangerous is another question.
When they're sleeping.
Maybe. I'm not sure. But Drunks goes a little aggressive then and gets met with Ducky Chan straight away. MYM will win out on A, but they've already been able to push up more on the East Road and get this one, at least being pressured and make it hard work for them to rotate out of A. And that's what I like from Fnatic. Clinical play, smart play, a little aggressive from more there. He does get the kill with Drunks though. So yeah, all in all, just smart play from them. They're leaving the road a little light, but Fnatic are firmly in the reins now.
Yeah, he got 2 kills himself, then Too Easy ended up coming in and actually picking up the last one. So they're going to get a tri-cap yet again here. An 82-35, they're picking up a lot of steam here. This is getting very, very dangerous for MeetYourMakers. They are getting wiped out in 1v2 or 2v1s every single time, it seems, as Valor just picked up a 1v2 right there. And they haven't even kept over C when it's just wide open. Maybe they want to hit B at the same time here to give them some sort of, go-to point, but they're not holding a single flag right now.
It's because this team was meant to get there a little faster. A 2-man split over towards A was meant to kind of kick into position a little bit sooner than it did. Ducky finds Drunk, so A is a little more open, but it's given time for Fnatic to respawn, get into spot, and they don't have the tickets to do this sort of long-term play. They need to be a little bit faster, I felt there. And Fnatic can just be really solid in this sort of position. It's their biggest play. They can just play it smart, play it out, and play for the time. Now, 15 tickets is not a lot, even if MYM pick up the A flag, because there's a chance there's a back C spawn coming in.
There is, and well, right now B will be capped over. A still being fought over, and it looks like it's going to go the way of MeetYourMakers. Actually, no Fnatic. They pick up enough kills there, and that might, well, it won't be enough to actually solidify the win for them, but it does give them at least 1 flag. They have 75 tickets to the 13. All they need is kills now to really end this game. Not to mention, C is wide open for the taking. So it looks like Fnatic are going to come out here with a nice, hefty lead at the end of this first half and take it to the second half with, what, like a 50-60 ticket advantage?
Pretty damn solid. Yeah, Fnatic getting a little bit flustered at the end. Then MeetYourMakers got into position. They got some really big kills in on, and they just went out on the sides, which is perfectly done, but still. Nevertheless, Fnatic can just come back in, get a trip cap to really minimize that bleeding and just kind of suture themselves back into a comfortable position with, well, 70 tickets is not a bad bit of work.
Not at all, and that's a fantastic job by them. There it goes. The final couple of tickets coming in for MeetYourMakers, and 70 tickets. They had 64 in Operation Locker, and they're able to take it. 70 seems to make it a little bit easier for them. But
yeah,
what can we say about MeetYourMakers, though? Because they never really got set up like we saw them on Operation Locker, I feel. They almost had the opportunity to once, I believe, but they didn't actually get the people in the right position.
Okay, well, for me personally, when I look at the way MeetYourMakers played that, they looked for weaknesses in Fnatic and looked to exploit them really quickly, which is perfectly fine if you can then depend on winning the 1v1s, the 2v2s, the even exchanges, or maybe the overmatch of a 3v2 in your favor. They read it correctly, but then they'd lose out in a 1v2 or something like that. It's hard to kind of keep into account how good players like Valu can be, how good Unfixed is. 16-5 and 14-9 for those two, by the way. So
that's that wildcard factor that you can never really
you can't lock it down.
Solidify into a strat.
Exactly, and MeetYourMakers don't play a bad game of Battlefield. They play a really hard game because they don't necessarily have these completely written out strategies, it seems. It's more these kind of adaptive styles. So they see something like, okay, well, they've over-adapted here, they've got too many players here, let's push this side. It's smart and it's hard to counter, but they must win the 1v1s to pull it off. So it just kind of fell down a bit there.
They lost a couple of 2v1s.
Yeah, they did.
And I think they even lost a couple of 3v1s in there too.
Yeah, and it's frustrating. It's when you start getting that kind of little bit of frustration in the team because you should win them out, but at the moment when it comes down, you're like, oh, it doesn't matter. It's only one push, but that one push can equate to a 2-1 cap or a complete triple cap as well. So things like this they have to keep in mind. I wouldn't be surprised if they slow down a little bit, don't go for such reactive plays this time on the second half, but we'll see. That could be just their overall game style. I like to see how they start out on this side, though. Well,
I did feel like Fnatic definitely played better on the US side when they played against ESC.
Yeah, I think, well, you get the better setup. You get the AB hold, basically. Well, if you win out on the street. So, yeah, I think I worry for MOM if they don't get a good start.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and drop you in the game here because we are live here at the second half. This could be the final map here for Fnatic to get themselves into the playoffs right now. They will be on the Chinese side, MeetYourMakers over on the US side. And what do you see already breaking out right now in the beginning?
Well, Fnatic constantly stacking the east side, leaving the west side of the map open for the likes of Punch and Sayo to push through. And look at these guys exploiting it. Fnatic going for the clockwise rotate again, but it's leaving A little open. Luckily enough, they went out in the exchanges fast enough to fall back and get the revives. And this could be real trouble for MOM because they took too long to focus on towards A, and it could mean that that triple gap is going to come into place.
They're still taking too long. Look at Sayo. He's not pushing that bottom side to get around right behind him. He's taking his time. He's lollygagging around. I guess he waited for Flax to get the respawn in, but with all that time he committed there, he died. And right now, if Unfixed picks up this 1v1 against Flax, which he does, that was about 15 seconds wasted by MeetYourMakers' time.
Yeah, luckily, Safe did win out on the 1v1 over by B, so he's going to pick this site up and, you know, keep these guys held back by nades. Too Easy's moving in for the straight-up challenge. He does find one and a respawn. He spots Punchroll coming in with a player on towards him. Value, though, coming in towards the site as well, and this is going to be a bit of a bloodbath on towards B, unless MYM pick it up pretty darn fast. And Fnatic playing a really unique style. They're just getting right in their faces, constantly going for the aggressive trip caps rather than the safe 2-1 holds.
All right, well, it looks like Fnatic are going to win out at that C flag as well. At least maintain it for a little bit longer here. They're giving up B. Obviously, not the most ideal setup with C and A, but
that was smart. Look what Moore did. He was playing down in the south road. He waited for the two players to rotate off of B towards C, quickly called in, attacked the B site, moves in, claims it. That is so well played.
all right, well, he definitely does his job well. I mean, his job's kind of boring sometimes playing the anchor role, but as you right there, you can make some huge plays for your team and really give yourself a huge ticket lead here. Not to mention, 70 tickets is that threshold here for MeetYourMakers, and they're already close to it, 40 tickets away.
They are playing a really, really solid game here. This is what just completely destroys teams, and they can move back into this road game, try and lock them down. I wouldn't be surprised to see them exchange C for A not too long from now. They're getting the kills to do so. Pretty much a complete squad wipe coming through for them. So it depends what Fnatic want. Do they want to hold the 2-1 for a while to secure the game quickly, or go for maybe the more safe setup towards the late game in case they feel MYM might come back into it?
Right now, Safe just went for a push onto the B flag, but he was shut down momentarily by Mort right there. So they will cap B over, but they lose A at the same time. They're down to 96 tickets already, 20 to go basically, and they will have dropped down to the lower half of the bracket for the first time in Group B. But a big fight breaking out at C at the same time here, and Fnatic, well, they are a man down.
Yeah, they are indeed. That could spell trouble. So let's see if they can do anything with this. AC in hand. A being only held by Unfixed. C eventually being one of by Drunks and Too Easy doing the real damage. And we're seeing B even being threatened. Fnatic are just on point. They don't even need the ideal setups. They're just playing the way they want to in this one. We are almost getting towards that ticket threshold. The kills are just coming in one after the other. Finally, Safe breakthrough with a big double kill coming out for him. But B is their only safe site for MYM. It's not even the one they were trying to push out to. And you can see the amount of pressure that, well, Fnatic are happy to apply there. They've given up on C. They want the B site, and they even might get it here.
Well, with 5 tickets left to work with, even GG's being called out by MeetYourMakers, they have to make their push now. I mean, they're going to lose B. That's going to be it. I mean, it's kind of anticlimactic ending right there by me, but it was just Fnatic playing so damn well in their battlefield, and I believe MeetYourMakers have all even left the server too, so that is it. They didn't even drop below the threshold just yet, but Fnatic, they will be our first team coming out of Group B. They will join Epsilon, they will join Exertus, and now the Makers will go up against the winner of CK and ESC, and I actually don't know the results on that just yet. Let me ask for the admins for an update really quickly, but still, Fnatic looking as unstoppable as they have the entire season.
Yeah, pretty much. What more can you say? They played really well. I still don't like their start to that map. I think it's a weakness that MeetYourMakers clearly noted then. I think they need to kind of switch that up. At least put one player on the west side.
You mean the push on the east side straight into...
Yeah, they completely focus the east side and don't even look towards the west again, which is... I guess it works out because it's a long rotate, but then if a team works this out a little earlier on and they completely focus it down, then they're completely caught out on A. And if a... Okay... I look back to the one team that always used to cause Fnatic troubles, UMAV, back in the day, back in the first season almost. And it's because they were so damn fast in the rotates. They were such an aggressive team. If they noticed that mistake back then, for example, they'd be the team to go, why aren't we pushing A? Get down the street right now on the west side. Done. There's your sight in hand, and then they can bounce off the back of that doing the anti-clockwise rotation. So it would work out like that. Yes. Nice. But yeah, it's just an issue that really. It baffles me. Maybe there is a reason they do it, but Fnatic go for something maybe like that a little more. So
let's just drop... Oh, we're already there already. Sorry. I'm really curious because the strategy they pulled off... I mean, the thing is they had at least one man inside of A spotting anyone cross the street straight into him. but they had enough men at B to take that, and then a couple, I think 1 or 2 men rotated back from B towards the A flag to defend against the back push that was coming.
Yeah, they had the time, which was more surprising. So generally, Fnatic do something similar to this. So 3 players come out this way, and then 2 split down towards the B flag. At least what I noticed, maybe this is something they only did for this game. And the position that I was waiting to really see being used was the one here. This is something that often we see teams using, and then they can kind of have, rather than this B line hold across from the southwest to the northeast, they kind of lock down the entire street like that. Excuse me, that should be in blue. God damn it, Lauren, how could you? But yeah, like they'll hold that kind of push, completely locking down the street. But when you don't have that player on the west side, it allows two players, as we saw, pushing down here and getting around the back of A. And lucky enough, they were not quick enough to really get on towards it.
Well, that was when Flax wasted basically 15 seconds at the beginning of the game because he just didn't push into A in the back.
If they'd done that, if they were secure and they were safe and they were comfortable with that push, they could have done that so much better, and Fnatic could have been caught out. Yes, Fnatic do this fast push up on the east side, though. They'll happily go, okay, well, we've got B, let's get up towards C, and then go all the way back around the map. Yes, that can happen.
I wonder if that's the backup plan. If they do lose A to a quick cap, then that they know C's weak.
Yeah, it could very well be that. So it's an option there, and there may be question marks as to why. I definitely want to ask the teams, or at least Fnatic, why they don't really play that position. Maybe they don't have a player who feels that comfortable in it. And I think back maybe when the Scar H was in play, that was always its starting position. They never played with the Scar H, even back when it was really at its forefront. So maybe they're just not used to playing it. They found a way around it in their own style. So it would make sense in a way.
Okay, so just hearing words from the admins that ESC is up 1 map to 0, but at the end of the second map, CK has a 21 ticket lead.
Wow.
So
interesting stuff.
Yeah, really interesting. We'll obviously be coming back in just a few to find out who the winner of that one is to go up against MeetYourMakers to determine our last team out of Group B here. Any quick thoughts on this game, ESC versus... Obviously, we haven't seen CK, so it's kind of hard to put you in that position, but any thoughts on that game at all?
I haven't seen enough of them.
That's
really,
what I
that's
thought.
the thing. Like, I will happily do some sort of analysis on what they're doing or how they kind of play, but I haven't seen enough to really form that opinion to understand the game style or how they might go about things. So,
Okay, well, what about this then?
It could be unknown.
Let's assume ESC wins. We've seen ESC once. We've seen MeetYourMakers. What about that?
MeetYourMakers.
Okay, well, that was pretty quick. I thought you were going to go into this long 5-hour spiel on that one. Okay, so guys, we're going to go a quick little break, but when we come back, that final game of the night will be kicking off, and we'll see you guys in just a few minutes.